Hello and welcome. Today we are playing the front nine at the 7th oldest golf course in the world. Not just Scotland, in the world. Kinghorn Golf Club was created in 1887, but golf has actually been played in Kinghorn on this very site since 1812. Ridiculous stat. I found that out quite recently and it's just absolutely incredible. Incredible. Gonna be matching that with some kind of summer camp outfit for today with the pink polo and the, well, calf high socks. An absolutely gorgeous day this was. Started off by getting a green in regulation. Following that up with a 3-putt for bogey. It is pretty standard. As we move on to the next hole, the weather was warm. It was sort of in the mid-teens. The sun was coming in and out. Later on, there is some sort of downpour, so there will be some wet weather in this. Mostly later on into this round and early into the next round. The wind picks up as well. It isn't too bad at the minute. You can see it's a lovely chip, almost too good where I hit the flag, and it rolls quite far actually down the hill. It's a lot further than it looks, and you can see the slant, how much it is uphill compared to the sea. As we move on to the third hole, the first hole played quite well. The second hole was scrambling, just wasn't quite there. It's very difficult to scramble, I feel, on links golf courses. 174 yards downhill. It's going to be a simple 8-iron just to get it over the wall, and I do aim for the green, but I just didn't quite make it. And this is a 7-iron that I'm using almost as a putter, 26 yards, but really fast. The putt for par doesn't even come back on the green, and it is the bogey putt, which very surprisingly does land. So we're going to be +4 through 3 holes as we move on to the fourth. Very wide fairway, and as you can see in the actual clip itself, it's still relatively warm. There's not really much breeze, just almost a slice there. Didn't quite get the full hit on it. 263 off the tee, and it leaves me with 117. Can't really see the arrow there was where the green is, so I've hooked it very slightly to the left, and it is going to roll down the hill through the putting green, and just at the back it will settle, leaving me with 40 yards. The chip is relatively good. It has to go quite high to get over the pot bunkers, but then the putt is back downhill, and you can see just how drastic the hill is and how fast the greens are. It stops, but then it does continue. It's not the breeze that's pushing that away, it is just how firm the greens are. The bogey putt to get back on, and then it is going to be another double bogey as we move on to the fifth hole. So not a great start to this round at all, but it was a nice day, and I was determined just to enjoy the day and make the most of it. 319 yards. Decided to take the driver, and it did fade off to the right. I think the driver was not the right choice of club. I probably should have went 5-iron here, laid up from the valley. You can see it went exactly where I'm aiming, 111 yards. It is slightly uphill, and it has just got caught up just on the fringe there in the chip. Again, rolling not quite through the green, but we do have a par putt to try and stay at +6, but it just fades away at the last minute. So it is going to be another bogey, just to confirm. The par 3 6th is a blind tee shot over the mound, and depending on where that flag is, you can see it just under my chin there. Playing it up the hill, 145 yards, and the wind is starting to pick up ever so slightly. Played it just a bit too much to the left and putting downhill for birdie, just trying to get that lag putt, trying to get it close. Not as close as I would like, but we do again have another opportunity for par, but it is going to be a bogey. as we move on to the par 4 7th. Now these holes are very, very dramatic right to left. If you don't carry, you can see the arrow is exactly where I'm aiming for, but I've pulled it to the left, and if you don't carry that hill, your ball will be pushed into the rough anyway. So I'm heading in that direction. Not sure if it bounced back off the wall or not. 115 yards. Again, just trying to keep it safe. There's nothing to the left, clearly out of bounds, so just pushing it to the right and giving myself a birdie putt. Again, it will be a lag putt. I thought it was going in right up until the final minute there. And again, I just rolled a few feet past. So gone through my full putting routine, and you can see that the wind has picked up there. The flag is just absolutely rustling in the breeze. Back up the hill for par to try and stay at +8 and make that complete and utter relief there in that fist bump. Now on to the 8th, which I think personally is one of the more tougher holes on the course. It is long, it is again a drastic left to right if you hit it in the wrong spot. There is a flat part of the fairway up to the left there, but if you go too far left, you're completely out of bounds. 459 yards it was today, but played an absolutely perfect tee shot, and it just trickled down the fairway, leaving me with 151. You can see the arrows pointing directly to the green there, but there is a bunker to the left, and that is what I'm aiming for. I want it to just stop and roll down the hill just before the bunker, and it lands absolutely perfectly, but it just goes a bit too far. You can see me trying to get the ball to stop. It is on the edge of the green here, relatively flat green, nothing too much to worry about, no real undulations, so we can go straight at the hole. Really, the lag putt was shorter again than I thought. Couldn't quite figure out the greens on this front nine, but again, saving par and getting a par on that hole is an absolute bonus. Seems like a birdie for me as we move on to the 9th and final hole in today's video. Again, that is the green, that's what we're aiming for. 226 yards, very, very short hole. Elevated tee. Just trying to hold it up in the wind there. Managed to do so, and you can see it has started raining. The waterproofs are coming out. Again, that is a 7-iron from 30 yards, just trying to push it along the grass. If you get it in the air, you don't really know sometimes where it is going to end up. It is another relatively flat green. It is a slight left to right, and you'll see it come in. I thought it was going to land, but it just rolled around the outside. Unsure if it would have been a birdie with the flag in, but I've taken it out in a complete rage anyway. But the putt back for par is a real saviour, and getting 3 pars back to back after that real shocking start through the first 6 holes is a real bonus for me. So three fairways in regulation, 3 greens in regulation, and 41 out of 33. It's not going to be a break 90 for this one. It actually could well be a break 80. So we'll see you soon for part 2. Stay tuned. I'll see you next week. Thank you and goodbye.